Hi again. So now that we've discussed the indicative verb tenses, now let's talk about infinitives. And infinitives are actually translated as to blank. And let me write that down. To blank. And you should be familiar with these in English. Infinitives can function as subjects in the sentence, and I'll give you an example of that, as in to run is great. And of course, your to run would be the subject of the sentence. And it can also accompany verbs in a sentence, as in, I love to eat. Okay, and they're also really important in indirect statements. They're actually crucial in indirect statements, which we're going to talk about later on in the other grammar section. But in Latin, there are 5 different forms of the infinitive. Let me write that down. 5 infinitive forms. And they are the following. The following are the 5 infinitive forms, and I'm going to go ahead and translate them for you as well. Just make a list. Okay, so you have the present active, and it's translated to blank. You have present passive, which is to be blanked. Next, you have your future active, to be about to blank. And there's actually no passive form of the future infinitive. So next up you have your perfect active, and that is to have blanked. And finally, you have a perfect passive. And that is to have been blanked. And now we're just going to go down the list, and I'll tell you how to form each of these. And we're just going to start out with the present active. And the present active is probably the simplest to form. Present active. Okay. So all you have to do is take your second principal part. Second principal part. And there you go. That's it. The second principal part is your present active infinitive. And for example, in the word amo, amare, amawi, amatum, in that dictionary entry, amare would just be your present active infinitive. Easy, right? And as I mentioned before, the present active is translated as to blank. Okay, so now let's move on to the present passive. Okay, and this is just a little bit trickier, but it's still not too bad. So there are actually 2 different cases for the present passive infinitive. If it's first, second, or fourth conjugation, you're going to go ahead and change the last letter of your second principal part to I. And if it is third or third IO, you're going to go ahead and you're going to change the last 3 letters of your second principal part to I. Change last 3 letters to I. And for third conjugation verb pono, ponere, the infinitive, since the second principal part is ponere, it would be pony, since it's third conjugation. And again, it's just translated as to be blanked. Okay, so now it's on to the future active infinitive. Wrong color. future active. Okay, so the future infinitive is formed by removing the last two letters of your fourth principal part, adding on the ending urus, and adding an essay to the end. And let me show you an example. First, let me write it down. Wrong color. Take last two letters off fourth principal part, change to urus. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to accompany it with essay, which is the infinitive of sum. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and go over the perfect active infinitive. Perfect active. Okay, so for the perfect active, all you would do for that one is you take your third principal part, cross off the I, then you're going to add ending of ise, and that's an S. Add the ending ise. So, for example, for amo, amare, amawi, amatus, amawi would become amawise, amawise, because you have to add that ise ending. Okay, so now finally we're going to go over the perfect passive infinitive. Okay, so it's actually the most similar to the future active infinitive. So for the perfect passive, you would take your fourth principal part, jot it down, and then write essay afterwards. And remember that the essay is not attached to the fourth principal part. They're two separate words. So it's a fourth principal part plus essay. And that's actually simpler than the future infinitive. But there you go. Those are your 5 infinitives. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.